Hey, how's it going, everyone? I've just got to finish this off. Had it develop a crack overnight, which just most gum does it. You're just releasing it, the bark on the outside. And anyway, so I filled it with a bit of some shavings I kept from the grapevine. So it's got a bit of a dark vein just there. But this is going to be the end of the base here anyway, so it's not going to really matter too much. It's got spirals going through it, not intentionally, but just because it's hanging so far out from the chuck, it's just vibrating. I'm mostly gonna sand it off. I'm not really. How you going, Dr. Bob? I did send you a link. Yeah, I'll mostly end up sanding most of it off because there's a bit of a line going right through here. But I need to get out, so. Good morning, good afternoon, and how are you?
Great. How about you today?
Shit. Sorry. Hang on a sec. Sorry, I didn't have my sound turned on. Sounds like it's doggy treat time.
Yeah. Come on, up. So,
how you going, John?
How big you are.
Hang on a sec. Full screen. There we go. There you go. He's like, I'm going to lick your face now.
Yep.
Very nice. Very nice indeed. he's like, right now, where's my treat, Dad?
Yeah. Problem is when he licks my glasses.
Yeah. I used to do that to people, not lick their glasses, but go like this, lick these two fingers and then wipe it across the front of their glasses.
Oh.
That gets some impressed points across. No, very nice dog.
Well, he always ends up in the middle of my bed at night. He wants it all.
Don't they all?
It's like, this is mine and you share it with me. Attitude.
Yep. No. Sorry, Amber's in the background every now and then, and she's seen the dog and she's like, I want a dog like that. No.
Each out of house and home.
We can get one as big as his head. And that's it. No bigger.
Well, unless you got a king size bed with a dog this size, one of you will end up on the floor.
Yeah. Well, we got
it won't be the dog.
We got a queen size bed in one room and a double in the other, so he's got a choice.
He'd take probably the queen himself.
Yeah. All right, so I just put a bit of.
Well, hi, John. How you doing? Thank you. It's supposed to be. I like him. His name's Riley. He loves to play.
All right,
He's
so
a good shop dog.
I come out here today, and there's a crack through the wood there. I've filled it in with super glue and dark brown shavings from the grapevine.
Yep.
So the base is going to get knocked off here anyway. So I glued it right down to here so that just in case of vibration or anything. How you going, Mike? The spiraling on here is only because of sheer vibration in the wood. So I've put a piece of cloth in here to hopefully to stop that.
Yep, stop the
now that it's got that big crack down there, I don't think that's going to do it any favors. So I'm just going to give it a Might just hit it with some 80 grit. I wanted to make this bit here, but it's like, I think I'd end up sanding it out anyway. It's only a little tiny thing. How you going, Chris? Yeah, so hopefully that works.
Have you heard from the Robo?
Nah, he might be busy with helping that guy with his truck. And he's generally not available until about 11:30 way anyway. So, and it's only 11 o'clock over there. Maybe even later, just because he's doing the truck.
You two are separated by a half-hour time zone?
Yeah.
It's one of the few half-hour time zones in the world.
Yeah. And then Perth is 3 hours behind me, and 3.5 hours behind Robbo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you got a big island.
Yeah.
Is it really an island, or is it just a big pile of sand?
Yeah. I'd say the second option.
I really don't know, and I hate being ignorant about it because geography used to be my favorite subject when I was in school.
Yep.
High school, middle school. That Australia was at that time in the 70s thought to be an island, and then there was theories saying no, it's not, but nobody had ever been able to get deep enough to know that whether it is really floating, what part of it's floating, if any of it.
We're a continent, eh? Aren't we?
We're everything. We're not.
How you going, Tommy?
We're an island continent country. All of them. They haven't completed it.
Yeah, I know you're a continent, but I didn't know there's a lot of theories that it actually moves, but I think it moves because the tectonic plate under it moves.
Yes, because New Zealand comes closer to us.
Yeah, New Zealand comes closer to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm doing a extra early live today because you hear a female voice. That's my wife, Amber, John. She's in the background. It's going to be a hot day today, so she's outside enjoying what's left of the coolness.
Getting a suntan?
Nah. In the shade, just under the. We've got a 20-foot China doll tree out the back, and she's under that at the moment. John says hello, Amber.
Hi, John.
So it's 29 at 10 o'clock in the morning, and it's a forecast of 40 today. And it's 40 for the next 4 days after this as well. So our nighttime weather is going to be about 28, 29.
Comfortable evening.
No. No, because I'm upstairs, so it's a little bit hotter.
Oh, well, hot air rises.
Yeah. I've got my air conditioner upstairs, so in that sense, it's not so bad. But yeah, it's like climbing into your roof. People ask me what it's like upstairs. Well, it's like you climb into the roof of your house, and you tell me what that's like. That's what it's like with no air conditioner.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to mute myself and start sanding. And there you go. Mike's got an answer for that, or maybe an attempt or something.
What, for Australia?
I I've read something about that while I was at the doctor's office last year, I think. You know, all the magazines that they put out for you about New Zealand being a mini continent, being upgraded. But I don't know what authority does that, or you just declare it.
You got my wife thinking about are we an island of sand now? Gonna take her stick and go walkabout.
Well, the question has been you have to define the word island. And I think that if you go by the British or Merriam-Webster as land totally surrounded by water.
Yeah.
And no other landmass.
Yeah.
That goes back a long way.
Every country has seas around it, doesn't it?
Well, not necessarily surrounding it. Well, North America, the continent, but it's connected to South America, of course.
Yep.
And we all know that there's England and Ireland. Separate countries, same continent, but is it a continent? No, it's an island.
Give me my treat, Daddy. I want my treat, Daddy. Give me my treat.
He's gone through them all already. He found out where I hid him, and over the night he got into the box.
Like a good
And then he hid the box under the couch.
Well done. Well played. That's it. You got to hide the evidence.
Yeah.
That's funny. It's cheeky but funny.
Oh yeah. Well, the animals can be very smart. And they have a way, as you know, of always being able to communicate what they want.
Yep, our cat thinks it's a dog.
Yeah. One of our cats thinks it's a dog.
Okay, that's more than a gender change.
That's an identity crisis.
Yes.
Funny.
You got all your treats. They're all gone. You want some more peanuts, but you aren't going to get them. Because you get too many of them. When you break wind, you can smell it all over the house.
Yum.
In the winter, I don't want to have to open windows to air it out from them.
No, you don't. How you going, Dan? What's going on? That's your name, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it is.
No. Go lay down. Go on. Go play with the baby. Go on. Go lay down.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah. How you going? What have you been up to?
Well, Dan, welcome to the group from meets down under. I got talking to some friends a few weeks ago about this little group that you kind of host there, Jay, and I
Yeah.
mentioned it was down under, and for some odd reason, and I'm not sure what was going through his mind, it was like, so you hide under tablecloths, under bed? No. I told him I'd give you a hint. It's like, it's always tomorrow when we're talking from as far as we are concerned here. It's
Yeah.
tomorrow. And he wondered what I was smoking.
I wonder what he's smoking. Would be more.
Well, when I finally explained it, and it took a while because it is kind of funny, but he had to start thinking about the world is bigger than just the neighborhood, or in our case, just the state. Or, so you go up north and you go hunting and fishing, you go to Canada, to
Yep.
us it's nothing. You pay
Yep.
your dues, you show your passport or citizenship card. And now
Yes.
here in Michigan, we have an international on our driver's license. And it's been that way 15, 20 years. So we don't need a passport to go in and out of Canada or Mexico or any
Yeah.
of any of the islands that you're on a cruise ship for.
That makes it easier, doesn't it?
Yeah, because we go back and forth all the time, and it's tied to the country's database. They scan it, and up comes your picture.
Yep.
So, what part of Michigan? Just outside Detroit. We're in a suburb of.
I'm gonna put myself on mute now.
Yep, if you know southern Michigan, we're just outside or neighbor to Dearborn, where all the big Ford factories are. Okay. Yeah, we go to Canada before COVID. We'd go over just to go hit the bars or the adult clubs. At least that's where the 18-year-olds would go because they could get in at 18. Here in Michigan, it's 21. Yeah, John. So I could throw a beer can across the, Detroit River and hit you. Yeah, sure. But that used to be the running joke when I was a teenager growing up. The wood, what he's turning is technically not wood. It's a vine. grapevine from a local orchard. No, not this one. This would be gum then. From the
Yep, this is
gum.
the ghost. This is the ghost gum from yesterday.
Okay. The color is really pretty on it. Yeah, I was brought up in Detroit. My father's from Canada. We have, because of that, my brother and sister and I have dual citizenship. So we got passports from both countries. As kids, it was so easy to go over in the 60s, 50s. Used to catch the uh, CNR train to go to Brush Street in Detroit at the train station and get board the train. The train would load onto the ferry and it would go to Windsor and hook up with the train and go all the way through to Toronto before it broke up into separate cars that went west and terminated there in Toronto. That's back when it was $22 to go all the way from Detroit to Toronto. Welcome back. Yeah, but I have to tell you, that's back in the late 50s and late 50s. Uh, but back then, a bottle of Coke was a nickel, and gasoline was going like for 12 to 14 cents a gallon, usually around 12. When I started driving, I paid
Hey,
15 cents a gallon.
hey, do you want to tell me when people come in? Because I can't see the chat. That hello,
I'm
Effie.
sorry.
Hello, Dave.
Yeah, yeah, Midnight. I have watched it. I get a kick out of it. Uh, I've got a relative that's an astronomer, semi-retired now, but I remember visiting and getting time to get hypnotized by the big telescope that he used while he was in college. Effie's in.
Yeah, I said hello to her. Thank you.
Ah, no, I don't play the lottery. I just, the odds are too far against it, and my money's, I'd rather buy wood turning supplies, tools, and a few things that I'd like to get there still. Because I'm just on uh, a minimal pension right now. If he says hi again to you, Jay.
Hi.
Oh, you roll that sexy voice out. Just watch your wife. She's liable to sexy you with a piece of wood. Now, I used to play the lottery, and I figured out that I lost like 20, 25% before I even started. And when I did play big, I ended up losing a lot because I had hunches and they didn't work out. Yes, it is. This is what he was on last night, his goblet. Now, another reason I don't play the lottery, I just don't have the money. In fact, I'm having a heck of a time since COVID trying to figure out who has stolen my identity because they've got all my checks so far that was supposed to come to me. And I've been fighting the government like mad to get it straightened out. I got nailed yesterday, or actually early this morning. When I got up this morning, I had a notice from my bank, and it was said that I was close to being overdraft because of my cell phone purchases yesterday and a TV set. And I didn't buy a cell phone, nor did I buy a TV set. And when I called the bank, it seems that yesterday I happened to be in Dallas, Texas, because that's where my card was used. I haven't been in Dallas in a good 50 years. Yes, I did. I taught at U of M a long time ago. Well, I didn't really teach. I ran a research lab, and it was a microcomputer development lab funded by Ford Motor Company in the North Campus Auto Lab complex.
Uh,
It was the beginning research on could cars be controlled by the mini computers or microcomputers that we had that people were using.
Right. Yeah.
I haven't used Unix, Linux in since 80. Though I was a whiz at it, but the micros that we did were Z80s, so they were really micro. They weren't even mini, they were micros. We had a bunch of DEC systems in our lab, but the goal was to introduce the micros like Apple, uh, the Commodore, and the Tandy Trash 80 into the classroom to be able to practice and debug writing code instead of taking up mainframe time. And most of the time, 90% of the stuff that I did was written in machine code Z80. That's what I taught. Yep. I the one of the things that I was able to do, if you were back then, did you ever have the access or get a hold of the voice recognition and response module that plugged in to the expansion interface so you could talk to the Trash 80? That come out of our lab. I'll tell you, there's not many of them out there, the Trash 80s, but there's several people online on YouTube and also have regular sites where they are doing a lot of work with the Trash 80 still. So how to repair them, where to get the chipsets, how to do diagnostics on them. But we were funded by the auto company and also by Tandy. And we had it when Unix was the language of choice, not MS-DOS, or the original uh, BASIC that came out with the Trash 80. That was it worked, but it had way too much overhead. Yes, their color one that they bought that, uh, and it was a major difference from their other computers they had. That was an outright purchase. Uh, I forget who it was approached them for it, but they had to get Gates to bring and add all the features that were needed to run the color. One nice thing, if you know anything about computers, the Trash 80 actually was unique over all computers for personals at the time. And that was they had a single command that would give you alternate registers and counters for everything. So you could issue a command, and within one tick of the CPU clock, be running a second program. It wasn't multitasking, though you could make it look like you were multitasking. Your whole program would be shoved in, not even shoved in memory, because it was all memory mapped. You could jump between programs. That wasn't a bad machine, the Dell 286. SCO, yeah, that was quite well. No. Unix, I liked it, but that all these were, they bring back a lot of memories. Because everybody had their own computer they were playing with at the time. But the interesting thing, the Trash 80, but not in the gray plastic case, they pulled the motherboard out and all the stuff for the expansion interface, which was strictly tied, to it by its normal bus, and that was actually used by National Cash Register when they were still around as the basis for the very first computer cash register that was used in McDonald's. And they had made 100 of them up. But that was kept a big secret. I had two people that worked as a programmer just to get all that work and working. But it was the very first one, and each key had a product name on it, and the object was Ray Kroc wanted to look you in the eye and know where the keys were, so each key was actually a product that you would buy. And it was a big experiment, and they had them in Ann Arbor because we did the beta testing in that. And Domino's Pizza, they had them. Also in 4 of the Domino's stores in around the university, their Michigan campus, both Central and North Campus, as a pilot project. And they all ran in machine code, Z80 code, directly. Yes, yes, I'm familiar with Dragon speech recognition. I can't think where I got it. Because I've got the original prototype that plugged into the bus when they were programming the voice recognition in. I have 4, and I've given 2. I had 4. I've given 2 to the Smithsonian, and it's there. At least last time I was able to hit the Smithsonian Museum in the history of microcomputers. They had them with 2 working Trash 80s, and they had it on one of them doing voice recognition, the old balloon program where you could say up, down, and the whole computer game simply, it was all pixel based, moved left to right, and as you said, up, down, it went over mountains and buildings and under bridges. But that was the first game. Or do you remember Colossal Cave? If you're of that period, you probably played Colossal Cave too. What years were you in Ann Arbor. Ah, okay. Midnight. I That was being done by Dick Boltz, Professor Boltz, wasn't it? His project in conjunction with the U of M hospital. I forget the name of the grad student who that was his thesis. It was a computer specialist for microcomputers. And I think Dick Boltz ran that program. Actually, the TINS unit, of which we take for granted today and almost buy them at a drugstore, that was developed at the University of Michigan Medical Hospital at their microcomputer lab for the hospital. And it was developed as a uh, feedback uh, system. So the patient would get feedback. It was originally designed to zap mice when they went through a maze without killing the mice. But the maze was all computer controlled with a computer, and then it would simply zap the little mouse if it went the wrong way for doing learning studies. And it got yelled at because it was cruel and unusual punishment, but it had never been done before, and there wasn't a voltage that hurt the mice once they got that figured out. But then they used it on people, and it was used for treatment of PTSD. Well, Joker, do you remember or ever met Blumenthal? For a while, he was president, but prior to that, he was the CEO of Burroughs Computers. And when he left the university and went back, he changed its name to Unisys, but it was Burroughs originally. But my lab was in the auto lab upstairs. I had 5 rooms up there, and we did a we did a lot of R&D stuff using that Z80 system. Ah, yes. Yeah, when we had the Tandy pretty well funded and we had it in campus, and everyone thought we were jokers, but we had purchased the largest number of them because the whole purpose of the grants that we had from Ford and GM was for being able to teach microcomputer programming. I mean, you could write the code, but the only thing you could write it on was a silent 700 at home, because don't forget, we didn't have an internet then, hadn't been invented yet. So you had to take the computer home and do it. Modems hadn't come out yet that were reliable, and when they were, I think we had 6 of them set up, and we were running 150 baud, and that was fast. If you were on campus, we could get maybe 3, but there was no standard yet for it. But we ran, the big thing that we did with them was had 2 projects that I had grad students, undergrad and 2 grad students assigned to, was to use a microprocessor, which again is Z80, because we didn't need color, so forget the color computers, was to collect the data from dynamometer inputs and being able to combine them so they made sense, so you could actually get a printout of all the sensors time aligned, because you couldn't do it. And as powerful as the Amdahl was, you just couldn't, it wouldn't do it at all. You'd have to run the 3 different decks of cards that you had to hand punch. And we went right to A to D converters and stored it on audio tape, the Trash 80 tapes, and then played them back. And we did a lot of work on that. The 3 of the students I was supervising, that was their doctoral thesis. And they went to work for Ford running their dynamometer labs. I remember that project with sea slug brains. That I remember reading, or was it reading? No, it was at Wayne State was busy also doing micro stuff, but they had I forget the professor's name, but that's where the Moog was put together. If you're into MIDI music, that was set up there, and being able to run MIDI, because that was done on the Trash 82, to MIDI interfaces, and that was done at Wayne State University, downtown Detroit. Because I can't think of the guy that did the Moog. He was down there physically, but he was stoned most of the time. Yeah, I'm sure he's got a mask on. He wears them all the time. Yes, yes, Phil. Oh, I know he was stoned most of the time. I've met him. A good friend of mine, Gary Williams. We become very close friends, and I got him involved in computers, and then he was involved in writing software that would run the Moog that was built there down in Detroit. And it was basically input for contact closures, and it was a lot of fun. And the MIDI interface was kind of designed around that. And now the light interface that's used to run all the Broadway lights, show lights, everything, that I forget what the nickname for it is, where you tie your lights together. Each light has an address, just like an instrument. It's really MIDI. and it's an international standard now for controlling theater lights. But it all started to get the Moog running, or to be able to electronically record the notes because he was too stoned to write them down. Those were some interesting days. And that whole crowd, of course, was active in D&D role playing, both down at Wayne State University, University of Detroit, some, but Eastern Michigan, some, but U of M, they would have games that would have up to 20 people playing at a time. I even got addicted to that. I could believe that. Those were some early days.
He's done.
Well, the first ATM, though it wasn't called that, was also run up by a Z80 computer in a big black box, because it was easier to program it to do what you wanted to. But nobody had a card yet. That hadn't been invented yet. Well, a mag stripe card had. That came out of the lab, and I got listed on the patent design for the first mag stripe, but that was for Pan Am Airways plane tickets, where we stuck a mag stripe on a 66 card.
Yes. I always wear a mask.
Yep, I told him you would.
I got asthma, so I should just have a mask on all the time.
It's like with us, I still wear a mask in my shop, depending on what it is. But I got my Trend I use for dust, because I've got a Trend air mask that's got a fan in it, 2 filters.
Yes. Okay.
I got that about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yep.
An anonymous person that I made an urn for.
You got lots of them, haven't you?
Figured out who made the urn, because it was a local, well, semi-local. It was in Flint, Michigan. And they were able to track who made the urn for their 2 people at their VFW. And I got a thank you card, and it was mailed to me along with the Trend, with an extra battery pack and charger.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, it really was. And I still don't know who. I only know where, because of the postage on the box.
Hey, Mike, you've been watching too much Pulp Fiction, haven't you? He goes, where does the rubber ball fit, Jay? With the mask. Have you seen Pulp Fiction, Dr. Bob?
No, I don't think I have.
No. Well, there's a scene in there where someone's running from someone that they owe money to, right? And they run into this like a second-hand shop, a pawn shop kind of thing. And he's trying to hide from this dude, but little does he know that the dude that they're in the shop with likes a bit of chains and bondage and stuff like that, you know. So they got chained up, and they got an 8-ball strapped in their mouth, and I'm not going to say any more after that.
I don't usually watch movies like that.
No, it's a pretty funny movie. It's just that scene that was a bit like,
Yeah. Yeah, name rings a bell there, Phil. But that's been so long ago.
yeah. Dan, Bill Kill is good. I do like them, all of them. But yeah, Pulp Fiction has its own weirdness to it. It was on last night. That's the only reason we watched it. Oh, that's the only reason I'm remembering it. Otherwise, my goldfish memory wouldn't remember it. You singing to everyone? How you going?
All right, I won't be in for long. In fact, about
Yeah,
5 minutes. Good afternoon or good morning, everybody. Mike, Vicarious, Dr. Bob.
Good morning.
Dan, I'll let you guess. If you can guess what I'm making, then you're the winner. I've already made the shape. Come on.
Who? Who are you talking to?
My vicarious life. That's Dan. His name is.
Oh, right. Good day, John and Effie. Yeah, you really, doesn't matter. You really didn't need any support on the back of that. But anyway.
Did you watch my live from yesterday?
Not right through, no.
Oh well, then you didn't see that I actually do need the support
Oh,
because
right.
it was vibrating to the point it was leaving spirals in the work and I couldn't get it out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, fair call.
How's your day been so far?
You really don't want to know.
Okay, I forget I asked. I've been saying that with that phrase a lot lately, actually.
And no, bloody phone and still arguing with them about that. And then had to go 40 kilometres to get something that was ordered on Monday, would be there Tuesday. So we let it go. Didn't bother ringing, of course. Got over there and it's not there. And then I had to go another 30 kilometres to go and pick it up.
Oh, bloody hell. Pain in the ass.
Yeah. And then when I get it home, I didn't bother checking it when I was there. When I get it home, it's the wrong size.
Oh, FFS.
So, so yes, I'm having a good time today.
Yeah, sounds like it. Sounds like you wish you just stayed in bed, huh?
No, I'd have probably fallen out and cracked my skull out open on the ground.
Okay.
Either that or suffocated underneath the blankets or something.
Well, that is
Right.
it.
As I said, I won't be here long. I've got some catching up to do.
You like that, Robbo, or what?
Yeah, that's got some nice colouring in it, that actually.
Yeah. That's not what I was talking about. Right. Is that all it's got?
Sorry?
I said, is that all it's got? Is colouring?
No, so hopefully things will get back to normal tomorrow. But you're on early today. You getting a heat wave again over there?
Yeah, it's 40 today and 40 for the next week, 4 or 5
Yeah.
days even. Yeah.
Yeah, our temperature's climbing over. It's going to be 31 today and then climbing up to 38 or something on Sunday.
Yeah. No, I wasn't going to do an early live because it's payday for Amber and stuff, so we've been out doing a bit of shopping and stuff. And
Yeah.
one shop that we wanted to go to, they normally open at 10 and they're not going to open till 12 today because we rang to make sure they were going to be open. And so I thought, bugger it, I'm going to do me live now. Seems we've got an extra couple of hours to spare.
Yeah. How's Amber feeling?
Yeah, she's feeling better. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
The prospect of getting a puppy, you know.
Oh, yeah. New child?
Yep.
Oh, that's good. And this question's to John N. How are you going?
How are the twins going?
No, wrong John.
Wrong one? Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, he's which one's got the horses? John S, is it?
John S, yeah.
John S. Oh, sorry, John N.
No.
It's nearly a John for every letter of the alphabet, isn't there?
Yeah.
So the air conditioning unit come back working good, did it?
No, that's the other problem I've got at the moment. I fixed everything yesterday that was wrong. The indicators stopped working for some reason on the truck. I fixed them, got them working. Bloody faulty part. Took some tracking down, but anyway. Oh, you're sorry, John. Oh, he does have the twin horses, yes. Yeah. No, I was asking how you were going. I hope you're feeling a lot better. And Dan says, air conditioning, bloody hell, I'm screaming for heat. So he must be in some cold place.
In America.
Oh, right, okay, well, yeah.
You got to face it, you've got an international audience.
Yeah. All right, anyway, look, I've got to go, folks, I'm sorry. Mark the gentleman Turner's backstage.
Yep, just letting him in right now. How you going, Mark?
G'day, Mark.
Hiya. All right, everybody.
All right.
Greetings.
It's hello and goodbye, Mark. I'm just about to leave. I'm sorry.
Oh, fine. It's like that, is it?
Yeah,
Dan.
yeah.
There you go, Dan.
Change your deodorant, mate.
All right, cheers.
Is that what that was?
All
I thought
right.
it was me.
See
Hi,
you
everybody
later.
in the chat.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Bob. All right, Jay, how are you, bud?
Yeah, right.
Right,
Yeah, I'm
Mike,
going.
John N,
How are
My
you?
Vicarious Life, hello.
Hey, Dan, what are you drinking tonight?
Who?
Dan. Vicarious Life. His name is Dan.
Oh, all right, bye, Dan. I've laid off the drink after last weekend.
And how many times have you said that?
I didn't say I'd stopped. I said I've just laid off it. Note to self, don't drink a litre of vodka in one night.
Irish whiskey, maybe?
No, it was a litre of vodka. I don't drink Irish whiskey.
Just Scottish.
Any whiskey I drink single malts.
Ah.
It was a 2-day hangover.
Wow.
I can believe it.
Yeah, I like my liqueur whiskies with the honey in them and stuff like that. So. I used to like vodka when I was younger, but it's a bit harsh these days.
Yes, Dan. 2 full days of hangover. All day Saturday, all day Sunday. But it still did start to feel right again until Sunday night, about 8 o'clock.
Drink lots of water before you went to bed, or you didn't think about that because you were too maggoted.
I don't remember going to bed. That's the problem. Apparently, I made all kinds of promises about pole dancing, and I don't remember at all.
Do you even remember what her name was?
No.
Did you sleep
The worst bit of it is, I was in a hangout with JP the next day, and he said, "Just check your Amazon account." And I'd searched not only on Amazon but on eBay as well to buy a pole dancing pole. Luckily, I hadn't bought it because they're 200 quid. But I was like, I'd be gutted.
I reckon you could turn a better one on your lathe anyway, to be honest.
No. Somebody did say in my live the other night that Robbo had said he's going to turn me a pole. I was like, don't you dare.
I'm going over there in a month and a half. I'll turn one for you, all right?
No, that's fine. Feel free not to.
No, I won't. That's just naughty. I'll wait till you're drunk again, all right?
You probably won't have to wait long.
Mm-hmm. What?
Don't happen often. When it does, I do it right.
Do it properly.
Yeah.
Do you have friends over that you like to drink with?
Now we're in lockdown.
So you drink online with your friends? A live drink-out?
I was online. I was doing the Battle of the Makers quiz when I started drinking. I'd done half a bottle by the time we finished that. Then we went into a hangout. Apparently finished at 3 a.m. And I'd fallen asleep 3 times. And apparently it took me half an hour to say goodnight and leave. I don't remember any of it.
Are those sessions recorded?
They've been threatening that it has, yeah. They haven't showed me the evidence yet. I'm from the UK, Dan. I'm in the UK, mate.
JP's keeping the evidence for later, you know?
I wouldn't put it past him.
Neither would I. pull out the drive with all my memes on them. Here we go. That's JP.
Yeah.
His 4 terabyte drive.
Thing is, when your phone goes ping and you get a message from JP and you think, do I really want to open this? Manchester? No, not from Manchester. I'm from Cornwall.
Oh, did you just swear at him, Dan? I think you just swore at him, eh?
I believe he just called me a mank.
What's that?
Somebody who's from Manchester. They're a mank.
Okay. Is that a bad thing or a good thing?
Depends where you are. If you're in Liverpool, it's a bad thing.
We got a suburb here. It might as well be a city. It's big enough. It's called Elizabeth. So anyone that lives in there, we call them Elizabethans.
Yeah. I was born in Devon, but I live in Cornwall. On the North Atlantic coast. Oh, Dan, that's absolutely right. I'm a Liverpool supporter. I don't go to Manchester at all. I don't even go to Manchester when Liverpool play them. Mike, it's a bit more than a rivalry, mate. You know that.
Them fighting words.
I'm half Scots. Dan says, definitely not a Scot. No, I'm not a Scot, but I'm half Scots.
Half a Scot.
My grandmother and my mother are both Scottish.
I got Scottish and Irish blood, but that's about as far as it goes.
No, Effie, I don't want a link for any pole dancing. Thank you.
You take lessons online.
I'm not doing pole dancing. Promises made when you're drunk don't count.
All I got to say is you brought it up.
So there's two people that tell the truth: drunk people and kids.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did.
That's funny.
Yeah, it could be dangerous, pole dancing in your kilt.
Oh, God, I didn't promise to do it in my kilt, did I? Jesus. Just gets worse. Is it a proper kilt, or is it stitched pleats? I've got 3 kilts, Bob. One's a proper kilt. One's a stitched pleat kilt, and one's a modern combat kilt.
Oh. Yeah, I learned from my uncle, grandmother's brother, how to pleat a kilt, and I had to do it right. And I was a little kid at the time, and we had a thing that we had to do in primary or elementary school to us, like 3rd grade, 4th grade, supposed to wear something to school that was based on your family heritage. And I brought the note home, and my mother called him to see what we had. And I will never forget at 8 years old being razzed about wearing a dress, a skirt, and then the fluffy top with the puffy lip, because we were supposed to learn a lot about our heritage and talk about it, and each person was to go around and talk about it and had to have something, some to wear something that had to do with our family heritage. I know on the way home, I was running and hiding behind trees to get home quick enough because I didn't want to get the ever loving kicked out of me for wearing a dress.
I can rock a kilt quite happily. It doesn't bother me in the slightest. I've got great legs.
You make your own sporin, or did you buy one?
Oh, I bought it.
I had one made as a gift years ago by a friend of mine who loved working with leather. So he made one.
I made my own skein too, though.
Ah. You ever hear of the SCA, Society for Creative Anachronists? It's a global group.
No.
You pick a period of time that you would like to represent. You dress and you eat the food of, and you learn to talk if you can. The idea is it's an educational thing, but you have a lot of fun
All right.
at it. And I've been a member since 2 years after it started in the early 70s. And we get together once a year for a big bash. Could be between 2 to 5,000 to 7,000 get together and camp and proceed to get drunk. They don't take your car keys away when you go out at night, but they always check if you are sober enough to drive your car, or they won't let you. It's that type of outing, so you know you're safe. The worst you do is pass out at someone's campsite. No, it's been probably 6 years since I've been.
It's looking very shiny, Jay.
Cheers. Just trying to trying to dry it a little bit quicker. I got an
Yorkshire
industrial fan.
White.
I've got a fan there blowing on it a little bit too. So, what was that, Dr. Bob?
Oh, I say you put Yorkshire Grit White on it, didn't you?
Yeah, I used both of them. And then I've just put some clear lacquer over. Some of this stuff.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
I love the Rust-Oleum stuff. I have the cans of it in my shop even now.
So what have you been working on lately, Mark?
Mainly just practice pieces for the virtual craft fair.
Oh yes, that's right. How you feeling? Not nervous?
Just making sure I can get it down under an hour.
Yes.
There's
What
a
are
lot
you
of
gonna
steps. But I can't say it's a secret.
Okay.
There's lots of steps to what I've got to do, though.
Mm-hmm. Is it something you've done a lot of?
Tis now. I've made 5 of them in the last week.
Oh yeah, cool. That's good practice. Definitely. Can you reveal the wood?
Cherry and... Yeah, I'm just trying to remember what the final piece will be. Cherry and ash.
Okay, nice.
So that gives you a bit of a clue.
Yes.
Obviously going to be a segmented piece. Or a glued up piece, not really segmented. Yeah. Hi, John. John's back.
Oh.
Yeah, after an emergency sump pump fix. I know what that's like.
Oh. Sump pump, is that for like a dunny or something like that, or are you talking about a car or something?
Oh, no. Often if you got a high water table
Yeah.
in an area and you got a basement, you can have water that sits under the basement floor.
Okay.
And it'll cool under there, but it won't go anywhere if the ground is saturated. So because it's a big round hole in the ground, they use then it's called a sump, and they pump it up into a drain
Yeah,
to get
fair
rid
enough.
of it. So it doesn't come up through your basement floors.
Yep.
Or in some places, the ground is such that you got to have them just because of a big slab that happens to be pushing down on a water table enough so as it pushes water up into it.
Robbo's busy today, John. He's in and out. He's helping someone convert a truck over to a camper van. So I think they're like in the final processes of doing that. So all the niddly little bits, doing final checks and fixing stuff that doesn't work and that kind of thing. What link, Dan?
Wants to join in?
Oh, does he? Okay. I'm going to knock it on the head in a minute, so it's not really much point.
You have to come earlier and join tomorrow. Then we can
they'll be all early ones like for the next 4 or 5 days because I got 40 plus every day for the next 5 days, including today. So
it's too hot.
Yeah, it's a bit warm. Yeah, it's 10 to 11 here, and it's 36. It's getting there. This has just been sitting on the bench in my shed.
Yeah, 100.
Yeah.
That makes you pretty hot stuff, doesn't it?
I don't know. I've cracked plenty of mirrors. What does that say? I think that says the opposite.
You got to get in earlier, Mark.
It's currently 6 degrees here.
Wow. And you can keep that? Sorry, but
I wonder what it is. Alexa, what's the temperature outside?
Right now,
6.
26 degrees Fahrenheit. Tonight, expect a low of 25 degrees.
Alexa, what's the temperature in centigrade?
Right now, it's minus 3 degrees Celsius.
We're minus
Tonight,
3 degrees here for you guys.
Cool.
oh, yeah, you can keep that one too.
Yeah, you can keep that as well.
We have extremes between Jay and I. Yeah,
Come
8
over
in
here and find out.
Ontario. Yeah, -8. Yeah.
I'm going to give it one more coat, and then I'm going to knock it on the head. Appreciate everyone for coming in extra early than normal.
Ah, yeah, midnight. We just had snow all day. Wet snow. The sloppy, slippery stuff.
It's been raining here all day. Chucking it down.
Yeah, I decided to be the good guy and automate the teens here in the house for Christmas. So now they control their own lights in their rooms, the colored lights that they have around their TV or on their gaming wall. You know, what every teen dreams of. And they have their own Alexas, though I've told them they have to change its name because they're
Yes.
close enough together. They caused havoc between each other intentionally, but that's kids.
Yeah, Mike, John, yeah, Rich did get flooded again.
Yeah. Yeah, John, I need to, if you're in tomorrow night, uh, need to get some information from get your Facebook page. So if you're on Facebook, so I can send you an invite to our Detroit area Woodturners Club. We've got about a dozen people that live in Ontario that are members or have been members. Back pre-COVID, pre-Trump, when the border was open, we'd have a whole group come into Detroit for our monthly meeting.
Big day in the States for you today, wasn't it?
Yeah, a sigh of relief and a breath of fresh air.
I think that was a sigh that was given across the world, mate.
Yeah. Well, I have to admit, when I worked for Uncle Sam back in the last, well, it goes all the way back because I was part of the Y2K program for Uncle Sam, uh, making sure computers were updated, all that. But I started working for him. I got to know Joe then when he was on the Hill. And he was just a great person. He'd stop and talk to you in a hall. There'd be in a cafeteria, and he'd see you go by. He'd come and eat in our cafeteria at GSA occasionally, and because he'd have business in the building. And GSA's General Services Administration. They're the ones that take care of all the buildings, and that's their whole job. They're also the wholesale company for the government. They buy everything wholesale. You know, they have a plus the buildings are all theirs to maintain, and issue contracts for maintenance, repair, upgrade, all the shops to make furniture. It's a fairly big organization. All the cars that are government vehicles, all purchasing for the government except NASA. So there was reasons that he and others would come on the underground tunnels and show up in our building. They liked our cafeteria because we had some really good cooks.
Yeah.
And we would have at least 5 different types of meal a day that you could get off of the line, the cafeteria line. and they would advertise it, the different style that they would have, or styles that day. It's like the Pentagon. They have the same type of cafeteria, multinational. And a lot of the buildings, though people don't know it, are all connected underground in DC. By subway, by regular train tracks, so
Yeah.
it's, you can, if you know where to go, you can go down underground and walk up in another building. And if you got the right set of keys.
Sorry to interrupt, but I've got my lunch call has been announced.
Oh, okay.
No problem.
You're not going to cut it off tonight?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. Very good.
Catch you tomorrow.
It's all right. My pleasure.
Put Robbo on the naughty list.
Well, he's got to get this vehicle fixed so he can come back.
That's right. Exactly. All right.
All right, guys.
Take it easy.
See you tomorrow.
Catch you all
Take it
later.
easy.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye now.
See you later.